3, 2, 1.
Good evening, boys and girls, and shut your faces as I wrap you in a cozy blanket of a story as heartwarming and as soft as a mother's kiss. Or is it? Anyways, once upon a time, slavery was available everywhere in America and in all of the states. But as time went on, the northern states were all like, it's probably not that cool to rely on people for labor. And so they decided to rely on children. Children that cried like this, where? Where? So slowly, the North and South began developing new cultures, and this was all good until new states started popping up like daisies. Daisies that foreshadowed the conflict to come in the next decade. As more states came into the Union, everyone felt that compromises wouldn't be enough to keep a union together.
So,
through the power of technology.
That's why we had a lot of crappy presidents in the years following Andrew Jackson. That is, unless you consider Andrew Jackson a crappy president too. So the big question is, what caused the Civil War? Well, one can attribute the issue to federalism, the powers that states have, that wasn't already given to Congress. And how the states were all like, hey, if I want to own people, hey, if I want to own people, then I can. And then Civil War started when Abraham Lincoln was all like, boy, you better not talk like that with no attitude like that.
I don't know.
Smart people like David Goldfield blamed slavery, writing both Northerns and Southerners to recognize slavery as the immediate cause of the Civil War.
And he's probably right because he's such a smart man.
The whole conflict on the whole manifest destiny craze. So as more people expanded westward, the issue of slavery only grew because compromises failed to address the issue. Did someone say manifest destiny? Oh god, I feel a song coming in!
And then I put in like a bunch of music. I'm all like, oh wait, wrong track. Buckle your pants. Nope. She's buying a stairway. Nope. God has given me a power. Nope. Okay. And then I play the song.
Welp,
Okay. I need to find this.
Regardless of the cause, the slave to free state balance was all messed up when California joined the party. This caused an internal conflict in Kansas, where basically the whole bleeding Kansas incident happened, where basically Kansas exploded, and it only got worse from there
Because nothing good happens in Kansas.
Anyways, the slavery issue played a big role in the election of 1860, as it shook up everything and it upset political parties, like the Republicans, because they're so sensitive. The Whig Party got abolished because it couldn't handle the matter of black people, and Democrats were all split on the issue. That's why you have Abraham Lincoln, who won the election of 1860, who won with only 40% of the popular vote.
Because Abraham Lincoln knows how to capitalize on some chaos.
You might remember candidates like John C. Breckinridge, who ran against Abraham Lincoln, but he's only remembered by nerds. And history teachers. And history teachers who are nerds.
Give me extra credit, please.
Anyways, South Carolina immediately seceded from the Union, like a child upset from all that labor that he has to do. Where? In 1861, several other states joined Carolina and were led under the Confederacy under Jefferson Davis.
Okay.
Abraham and Buchanan failed to bring a Confederacy back to the Union, but you know Abraham Lincoln, nah, I ain't have none of that.
I don't know why I made Abraham Lincoln black. It was funny at the time, and now I don't know.
Spoiler alert, the Union won. Which should be unsurprising, as they had a massive advantage over the South. Alright, also the North manufactured 90% of the goods in America. Its factories turned out 17 times more textiles in the South, 30 times more shoes and boots, 13 more iron, 32 more firearms. Plus, at the outbreak of war, North had 20,000 miles of railroads compared to the South's 10,000. And I was like,
I made the noises because you're going so fast.
This made it easier for the Union to move its army, which over the course of the war enlisted more than 22 million men, compared to the 900,000 for the Confederacy. Even northern agriculture was more productive, taking greater advantage of the mechanization that the southern farmers didn't have. Plus we had California, man. Freaking California. Alright, so why was victory so hard? Well, we'll get to that later. The war began when the Confederates bombarded Union soldiers at Fort Sumter,
Hey, go.
South Carolina, on April 12, 1861. The first shots were fired, and what followed was a national tragedy of unimaginable proportions. More than 600,000 soldiers were killed, and millions were wounded. Large sections of the South was ravaged by violent battles, and the Union nearly collapsed under determined Confederate forces. It took 3 years before the Union was able to beat the Confederacy. Oh, wait. All right. It took 3 years before the Union was able to beat the Confederacy, and things were looking kind of hopeless. Many believe that Southern victories might actually cause the Union to give in. But even the word hopeless has hope in it. Plus, if you rearrange the letters, you can spell peace losh, which is kind of cool, I guess. Huge battles raged on in places like Fredensburg, Chickamauga, and Shiloh, and in Virginia and Tennessee, where 40% of the 10,000 engagements of the war was fought. Winning victory after victory over the poorly-led Union forces, General Robert E. Lee invaded Maryland in September 1862, but he suffered a major loss at the Battle of Antietam, the bloodiest engagement of the war.
Oh yeah, I need to do it like this. Very cool.
Bloody, spooky, so many people die.
Alright.
By the way, the Battle of Antietam was the conflict where the Emancipation Proclamation was issued 5 days after, by yours truly, Abraham Lincoln.
Y'all boys are free now.
Whoa, I'm a cat.
And the following year, Lee trounced the Union Army at the Battle of Chancellorsville, invaded Pennsylvania, leading to the climactic Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 casualties, an amazing speech by Abraham Lincoln that ensured a confidence in Union victory.
Okay.
Alright, everyone get quiet. Everyone get quiet. Alright, okay. Abraham Lincoln knows how to lay a smack on a country. Truly inspirational.
The only reason why the North lost so much, despite having California, was because the Confederacy had better leaders, like most of the tactically famous generals of the Civil War. Okay. Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, and Jeb Stuart.
Did that one show up?
Yep.
Okay.
They were all Southerners. Plus, motivations were as strong as in the North as they were in the South. You can argue how Northerners were fighting for freedom, with God on their side. But many soldiers, you'll find out, had their own reasons for fighting. For the North, this was more than just a physical war. It was very much a political one. Take, for example, the northern capture of Atlanta, because it was an important political victory for Abraham, because all those Union defeats prior made Abraham look like a butt salad.
Oh wait.
And that wasn't very appetizing in the election of 1864. In conclusion, the Union won, but not without massive casualties on both sides. Almost 700,000 people died, and that's not something I can make fun of. No, really, I'm seriously trying to think of a joke, but in the end, it created the nation that we all live in. It ensured that America wouldn't keep on having slavery until 1888 and paved the way for an even more democratic nation as it gave us the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. And despite having all those, despite those rights being secured for African Americans were never really realized, the Civil War was the start of those ideas. The end. Like, is it even funny? Like with Abraham Lincoln being black? Like,